stories this place can tell. Some of the all-time greats have raced here. It's been a theatre for moments etched in the history pages. Located a stone's throw from the beach where the legend of Burt Munro began. A pioneer in the pursuit of speed, they now come from all round the world to celebrate. Invercargill is a mecca for motorcycles and so much more. Founded in the 1850s near the bottom of the South Island, parts of the Victorian character and Art Deco charm have been lovingly preserved while carefully weaving in stunning new developments. It's a gateway to wilderness areas like Stewart Island, a place of adventure. You can do some digging or be transported to another time and admire an amazing array of machines that did the heavy lifting. After 2 years away, we're back at Teretonga Park, the southernmost FIA spec circuit on planet Earth, a place that demands bravery and rewards commitment. Two qualities we saw in spades last weekend at the season opener.
It was Brock Gilchrist with wins in Race 1 and Race 3 who would lead the championship, but amazing to see the performance of young Tom Bewley winning in Race 2. It looks like he, Dion Pitt and Clay Osborne look the most likely to put the closest fight to Brock Gilchrist.
Hi, I'm Taylor Bryant. Watch out for me in the 75 MTF Finance Toyota 86. I might have had a year off, but watch out, I'm coming for you. I had a break last year, so I've just been working recently and just GT days, and recently just got back into testing in the supercar round, but I'm really looking forward to this season. Yeah, so I've changed team to Action Motorsport, and they've definitely helped me out a lot more, and I think as I've matured a lot more, I've learned how to drive a car better, and it's not just turn up to the track to have fun, it's to actually get a job done. This year I'd hope to try run top 5 if I can. I think from testing I've been quite strong at a few of the tracks, but yeah, I haven't driven down the South Island really, so it'll be interesting to see how I go down there. Yeah, I mean, Highlands is very technical and very new to, motorsport in general, and then Invercargill's just Teretonga's old school, so yeah, I did those 2 rounds my first season at 86, but I was obviously too young to really understand how everything worked, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to those 2 rounds because the racing seems to be really good at Invercargill, and Highlands is a cool venue, cool circuit, but long track and will be hot down there for sure. I've learned, obviously, we've tried different things as a team, and I've learned how to handle the car hot, how to handle the car cold, how to do a green tyre, how to turn a tyre on, and all that kind of stuff, which is obviously hopefully go a long way in the future. Yeah, so Action Motorsport, so Sean's the team owner, and then Mark Wood, our engineer, and then Kerry is our other engineer, so 2 engineers and between 4 odd cars, so it's quite good. When we're racing the series and that, we can get the fastest lap from each session, and it's good to piggyback on and learn, but it's good having a good couple teammates around me to back-to-back data and try different things out, and hopefully in the end it all comes down to good setup and good car. It's hard to tell obviously, but I think Dion Pitt, he was real good last year, so it'd be good to be able to battle with him if he's the same as last year, up the front kind of thing. But yeah, Clay Osborne, those kind of guys, they're all real good, and yeah, unfortunately not having Simon in that this year, but it still seems to be quite a high calibre of drivers this year, I'd hope. Yeah, I think obviously in qualifying the biggest thing, especially if it's cold and if it's windy, try to get a good draft, try to get the tyre on at the right time and all that kind of stuff, but it's just trying to get that last inch out of it and really drive it on the knife edge, I think is the fastest way to drive these cars. Obviously ultimate goal would be international, but yeah, it's hard to get there, and it's really hard to get out of New Zealand, especially, you've got to bring a good budget together, so I don't know, I'd hope to be racing Porsches would be my main goal, because it's what I've always wanted to. Yeah, I think obviously with all the testing and stuff, and I just think obviously maturing up a bit more and growing older, I think has definitely helped, but the biggest thing this year is just trying to hone the racecraft, because that's obviously I haven't been racing for a while, so that's where I think I'll lack a little bit. Like supercars, I went out for the first race and obviously it was a bit like overwhelming in a way, because I hadn't raced for so long to have cars around you banging doors, but yeah, hopefully this year, just if I can get the racecraft good and get a good qualifying, and then I'll be able to run up the front. Yeah, exactly. That's what's good about this series, and that's what I like about it. You can race as close and you can race door to door, and it's always good racing.
Let's take a look at a lap around Teretonga Park. 2.57 kilometres of racetrack, lap record set by Greg Murphy with a 51.206. 8 corners around this track, very, very fast and flowing, one of the favourite tracks on the calendar.
Here's the grid then for race 1. And obviously a bit of a change around because Brock Gilchrist now takes pole away from the man of the moment, Clay Osborne alongside him. Rylan Gray, who I mentioned, alongside him, William Exton, 3rd and 4th. Then Tom Bewley and John Penny, 5th and 6th. Then it's William Exton. Then comes, well, we've got Penny again, but it's Justin Allen on the next row. Then Taylor Bryant and Ayrton Hodgson, 9th and 10th. Finn Osborne and Tim Leach, 11th and 12th. And then further down, Saxon Sheehan and Christina Orr-West. Then comes Harry Townsend, Thomas Mallard in 16th position. William Morton, and obviously right at the back will be the man who should have been pole position, but sadly isn't, Dion Pitt.
30-second board being displayed. Really starting to look up at the lights, making sure you're in first gear, engaging their clutch slightly just so you've got enough feel. Handbrakes on as well for a lot of these drivers just to load the car up.
Good point, yep. Here come the lights. Up go the revs. Out go the lights and away we go. Good start from the front row. Good start by the 42. Nicely done. But a good start from Rylan Gray in 3rd too.
Good initial launch by Clay there, but then just on the gear change, just lost a little bit. I think Brock's going to get him here into turn 1, but Clay will try hold around the outside.
Can be done. Osborne's got the long way round. Gilchrist has got the inside line and should take the whole shot and does. Coming towards Castrol for the first time. Out of the Repco loop they come. Good start then for Brock Gilchrist. Somebody hitting the dust and dirt for a moment, but everybody cleanly through.
Look like Christina, and then you can see as well Brock there just slightly cover off his line a little bit, just trying to get a little bit defensive to hold his position. I can see Dion Pitt, he's already made about 5 positions off the start. He is furious, he's into it.
Yeah, he is absolutely in the mood. This is just the first lap, and already Dion Pitt making his way through in the number 5. We'll keep an eye on him. I think it's Orr-West he's behind right now as they come to the elbow for the first time. Already Rylan Gray looking to get good drive out of the elbow and try and challenge for 2nd place.
As you can see, they tuck up next to the wall just like we were talking about, and then from here I'd say Brock's going to just keep to the inside to defend that position. If you're looking in his mirrors, seeing how close Clay is, seeing if he can hold him off as long as he can. You're allowed to stay left, you're allowed to hold your position.
Gilchrist a 1:17.9 in that first lap. Given there's not a lot you can do within the car or change the car, what sort of information do you want from your engineer?
You just want to know that what the gaps are, what's happening to the cars behind you, because you're trying to focus forward. So a good piece of information for Brock at the moment will be, the cars behind you are fast, but if you can get your head down, you've got the speed as well. Or if you're talking someone like Rylan there, you could say, his engineer could be saying, look, you're under no pressure from behind. You can run your line, focus on what's happening in front. As we can see Clay there get a little bit sideways.
Yes, Clay Osborne makes a mistake, and Rylan Gray didn't take another second to pounce, and he's coming to the elbow, and this should be a neat overtake for the 21, and he does it beautifully.
And that is what I mean. It's only the tiniest of mistakes make such a difference. Has Clay got the overlap here? Is he able to stay up the inside?
Look, and you can see they're on the radio immediately, but here we go. Osborne coming back. It's a drag race here at Invercargill, and yes, sure enough, Osborne's got the nudge and got the nose in front as they head down and the inside line.
Great driving by both drivers there. So Clay was lucky enough that he was able to get back to the inside and just have that overlap. And when I mean overlap, what happens in that situation? If you can get back to the inside and have your nose in front of the car in front's bumper, then they can't then defend their position and come down next to you.
And while we were focusing on that, it's also played into Gilchrist's hand. He now has pulled away by 0.8 of a second now overall, and he's now got some free space as these two continue their battle.
And that's all he may need. Just now that 1 second gap is opening out. It may stay like that. If Clay can't get his rhythm going again and start working with Rylan, if Rylan's still got the pressure on, they're going to have to defend, and that's where Brock's going to be able to drive away further. See, right here, so this is allowing Brock to get that bit further away because Clay has to defend his position.
Rylan Gray taking on both 86 championships, both in Australia and here in New Zealand, so he's going to have a busy year, but he's going to have some good mileage by the end of it.
And that's what it's all about, mileage, mileage, mileage. So we can see the young Clay Osborne, world karting champ in his own right, so very, very accomplished driver.
Yeah, you forget just how talented some of these youngsters are, coming from different places, from karting, as you say, some from tin tops and others even from dirt racing, including Clay Osborne.
Yeah, for sure. Look at that gap now. It's just sort of stabilised, and this is exactly what I was talking about. You can see Clay just having to run that little bit narrower, cover off his line, just that little bit. As he's sliding around, he's struggling with those rears in the car now.
So Gilchrist just squeaking out, 0.9 the gap at the moment, but who's going to take second at the moment? You feel as though Rylan Gray just wants past as soon as he can, because he can see that Gilchrist's going, and that's going to give the race to him. And they've got to stop the rot, haven't they? Because once you keep giving Gilchrist a win, he's going to run away with it.
That's and that's the thing. You know, obviously Rylan had an average round at Highlands there, so he's a bit behind the 8 ball, so he's not worried too much about that. He's just so focused on as many points as he can at this point in the championship.
Here we go then, last lap, and it's nip and tuck between the leaders. Brock Gilchrist, the championship leader, under massive pressure from Clay Osborne, who has pushed and pushed. And you can see Gilchrist is on the very ragged limit there as he slides the car out of the loop, the Repco loop for the last time. This is the last lap, and it's between these two. Gray has pulled away in third and is holding off Penny. Penny should win the Masters though.
So this is where Clay needs to make his move. He needs to get a really good run. So he's trying to force him nice and low. For the switchback. Can he get back up the inside for the switchback?
Well, it's Gilchrist having to defend, but he's just going hell-bent for leather now as they head through the ITM Brickyard for the last time. Clay Osborne takes it high and wide. Now he'll want the drive. He switches back, gets good drive, but it's going to be a race to the line. But Gilchrist, to me, looks as though he's got it. Gray has recovered. Evans watches on. What a way to start the weekend for 86. Beautiful conditions. And once again, it's Gilchrist who takes the checkered flag here and wins in Teretonga, race 1. Here we go then, there's the results. Brock Gilchrist for IMAC Race Engineers takes the win. Clay Osborne second, Rylan Gray in third. John Penny wins the Masters in fourth. Tom Bewley is fifth. Justin Allen sixth. William Exton seventh. Dion Pitt makes it up to eighth from starting at the back. Taylor Bryant is ninth, and Finn Osborne is in 10th position.
How much pressure were you feeling there?
Oh, obviously a lot of pressure with Clay right on my tail, but sort of drove the widest 86 I've ever driven that whole race, and managed to win the race for what, our third race win this season, which is awesome.
Coming up, will the weather hold for race 2? And we meet Tom Bewley, a race winner on debut in round 1.
Yeah, so basically at the start of this year, I only started learning how to drive a manual car, which is pretty cool. So jumped in the car in probably January, I think, early on, and that's when I first ever drove a car. So.
I wonder when he takes his license. I wonder if the teacher says, "So what do you do?" I'm a racing driver.
Me and Dad talked last year, and he asked me if I wanted to go open wheelers or tin tops. And I decided I want to go tin tops. I want to go race in Australia. So that's why I chose the 86 series, and opens up quite a few options as many other good drivers and stuff have come through. So that's the goal for me as well. Go race 86 in Australia, hopefully, and do the best I can and try to get into a few scholarships and that kind of stuff. Looking at the names, we've got a pretty good rookie field this year. So, I mean, obviously I would love to win the rookie championship, but also just do the best I can and not just well in the rookie championship, but do well in the actual series as well.
So you can see a big move up the inside there from Tom.
West under pressure, losing out. They're side by side. Wonderful shots here for the battle for third. And look at them all lining up. All West going for the bridge. Can she hold on? She'll be right, as ITM would say, but here comes the 4. Bewley does it. Nice stuff by a 15-year-old. That's good racecraft.
Great driving by both drivers here.
Yeah, so I'm running with Sam McKenzie Motorsport this year, well, for the 2023 season, and my engineer's Pablo. So yeah, and then I've got also the engineers and stuff which work on the teammates' car and stuff, which also help me. So it's been a good year, and Sam's very good, so that's me good year. Because I still do a bit of karting now, hopping into a race car and going back and forth obviously takes me a run to get back into it, as you're going a lot lower to the track, and in a kart you're just straight on the brake and just straight on the brake back out of the corner, and in the car you got to use a lot of rolling with the brake, so it's a lot to get used to and stuff. So it's going to be more slowing down on the karting now and mostly focusing on the race car. Yeah, my inspiration has probably mostly been my dad, as he's done racing before, and also Scott McLaughlin, which he started mentoring me in 2019, which helped a lot, and him mentoring me has got me to Australia to race my kart, and yeah, finding a lot of opportunities like running with Ripco for 2 years, which fell apart because of COVID, but yeah, it's been some good opportunities come through. Now, I haven't actually been to the South Island yet, so that's something we've been organising with the team for December to get down there and do the track, because probably one of the hardest tracks is probably like the two that are down there. So yeah, getting down there is pretty important to us and getting some laps. So that's what we're organising for December. Oh, I'm pretty stoked, you know. Even driving a race car is pretty cool, and I love it. It's good fun, good learning, and especially driving an H-pin car for the first car, which is a great learning curve to go into other racing cars. So yeah, it's good. The aim would probably be win the rookie championship and top 10 in the season.
Bewley's got to keep his foot in. Oh, the advantage at the moment with Pitt. But back goes it to Bewley. It's side-by-side racing towards the line. Bewley holds it. Bewley's going to win his first ever 86 race in his first season, and it's going to be side-by-side as they take the checkered flag, but it is Bewley who takes it in style. What a way to start your Sunday.
Obviously, finishing the season, getting maybe even a podium or something would be pretty cool, so yeah.
Let's take a look at the grid for this second race, because I think it's going to be very important, and we'll talk about it, Andrew, after we've looked at it. But it looks like this. Tom Bewley, a winner already, starts alongside Dion Pitt, and that's interesting because Pitt was fastest in the first qualifying. We'll talk about that. Then it's Leach and Mallard, two youngsters. Brock Gilchrist, the championship leader, and William Morton start 5th and 6th. Then comes Finn Osborne and Clay Osborne, the brothers. Clay, of course, the older and also the faster at the moment. Rylan Gray looking good, but starts 9th, and alongside him, John Penny. Ayrton Hodson and Saxon Sheehan starts 11th and 12th. Then it's William Exton and Christina Orr-West, 13th and 14th. Harry Townsend and Taylor Bryant start 15th and 16th. And then comes Justin Allen. And it's going to be interesting to see what Justin can do from back there. But like I said, I'm looking for a breakout weekend for him.
You see them all load the cars up. Handbrakes are on just to load it up. You're trying to find the bite point in the clutch. The lights start coming on.
And go the lights, away we go, and a good start from the 14. An excellent start indeed, but now starting to make his way through. Justin Allen, as predicted, looking good. The 42 gets bulked in between, almost a sandwich as they go down to the loop.
John Penny, massive start around the outside. As you can see, Finn Osborne holding the inside. Taylor Bryan on the outside. Very, very hard to hang on. Can he keep it right around the outside there to get the inside line for turn 2?
Rylan Gray getting a good start too. A little bit of dust flying up. The light's already on Justin Allen trying to intimidate those in front of him. And there's 3 of them. John Penny on the outside through Castrol. There is the Castrol sponsored Rylan Gray of New South Wales in Australia. But a good clean start, just what we wanted.
Yeah, great start there, and Finn Osborne managing to hold on to that first place as he dives down into the hairpin on the exit. Needs to get a good run onto the straight. We can see Clay Osborne as well battling away with Tom Bewley.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the Osbornes dynamic brothers, of course, and racing in the same series. That doesn't often happen. Boys, nose to tail already here, but a good start. I would say the best start goes to Justin Allen, as he's in now, third place, as they head down the straight again. And Allen chasing hard on Osborne. Great overhead shot here to see how the pockets of racing start to unfold.
So you see there, Dion Pitt on the outside. Is he going to be able to go late under brakes around the outside of Taylor? Very, very hard to make that outside move work. But then Justin Allen now has the inside line. Can he now make a move on Dion Pitt? Great to see some hard, close racing as always, as Taylor Bryant shows his nose on the inside. Is he going to be able to make the move work?
Oh, very close indeed between them.
Dion Pitt's got the pressure on Justin Allen there as well.
Well, nice clean start, but you can see this is classic 86 racing where 6 cars all line astern and one movement away, and that's how easy it is to see Dion Pitt come through. Nice overtake by him.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Just a little bit wide there for Taylor, and then Dion Pitt up the inside, and the next car, Justin Allen as well, also on the inside line, as Taylor just needs to really work on his run to get the car on the exit, and this is all helping Finn out front.
Yeah, I saw a little, a couple of guys with the wipers on. I wonder if there is still some drops of rain. We saw some a moment ago, and I wonder if that will become a factor as the race continues.
Yeah, the one good thing about this category, though, at the same time, is they're the same tyres for wet and dry, so whether the conditions change...
Yeah, they're just road tyres, right?
They're semi-slick tyres, so you just adapt your driving style to suit what's happening around the track. So, they could really change it up. I know Justin Allen's one who really, really enjoys the wet, so he might be looking up in the clouds going, come on, rain a bit more. As you can see Taylor there getting pushed off wide. And so this is what can happen if you sort of get stuck on the outside in one corner. Because it's such tight, close racing, it's really hard to find your rhythm and get back to where you need to be.
Yeah, very good point. And one mistake can really cost you here at this very tight circuit where the lap is just over a minute. See what I'm saying about the wipers on? No need for the wipers on unless there are drops of rain.
So just with the wipers as well, what a good thing is that you might see drivers, as you can see Dion Pitt, is he going to get up the inside here? Well, move up the inside.
Get your elbows out at the elbow, and that's the way to overtake, and that's the way to take a victory. Talking of elbows out, wide goes Taylor.
So Taylor's just struggling to find his rhythm here. He just keeps getting stuck on the outside, and this is what happens. You just can't get back into the rhythm of where you need to go. But just to touch back onto the windscreen wiper thing, as a driver, you want them on early as soon as you see any specks of rain, because you want to know if the rain's getting heavier or if it's getting lighter. So you want the wipers on early so you can really see if there's any specks of rain around, because you're going down the straight at 200 k's an hour. You don't want to break your normal marker if the rain's a bit heavier. So you're better to just get your wipers on, keep an eye on those raindrops, and if they feel like more, then you adjust your braking marker back. But if it's not as much, then you can just brake at the same point. So that is why you see wipers on in race cars quite early in the piece.
Let's talk about Dion Pitt, because he's had a rotten start to the weekend, but it's no surprise to see him out front and also putting in fastest laps, as here comes Brock Gilchrist. No surprise to see him in the thick of it, trying to come through. Gilchrist leading the championship and has had a stonking start to his season. But Dion Pitt was actually pole position initially in qualifying, but then got a penalty.
Yeah, he did. Unfortunately for him, he got a penalty, which is, really changed the dynamic of him for this weekend.
And no real fault. It was from another series, right? Or the car itself, it had this whatever the increment was, it was wrong from another series.
You can see he's just trying to tuck back in, find a gap somewhere. As once he gets stuck on the outside, it's very, very hard to get back in again.
It's interesting. Those wipers are definitely on most of the cars now. But looking out of our commentary booth here on the front straight, have another look at this, Andrew. Look.
So you can just see he's just got a little bit wide, stuck out on the marbles there, and just unfortunately, because in that stage, in that initial braking phase, when you've got other cars around you, you're looking in your mirror, trying to figure out where you want to be, and all it takes is missing your brake marker by just half a second, and that's where it can all change. We can see here Brock Gilchrist, John Penny, and Clay Osborne there in a real hard battle.
This is good stuff, and look how close it is. Gilchrist right in the thick of it, right behind the number 15, and not giving an inch at the moment, either one of them.
So you can see there John Penny making the widest 86 in the field, doing a great job. And as I said yesterday, he's allowed to do that. He's allowed to cover off his line and stop other cars from coming past him. And then, as I say, you just sort of fall into that trap as well of looking in your mirrors the whole time to hold other cars off. But this is what's making it such a close battle. As we can see, Taylor Bryant, he's on the inside of Brock Gilchrist. This is not what Brock wants. He's going to lose a position here, and at the same time, he's got William Exton up the inside too.
And as I mentioned, he's got damage to the back of that car from his war wounds, as it were, coming through the field. But I don't think it's affecting him. But as you can see, he's got Bolt nastily there through the loop.
I'm wondering if Brock's carrying a problem here because he's still dropping positions.
Well, I'm just wondering, like I said, there's body damage, and I wonder if he got a stronger tap than just the body, and maybe it's put the alignment out. Look, see it there.
I think that left rear wheel, by the looks of it.
Safety car has been deployed. We've got somebody off in the gravel. So, yep, whoop, that's Thomas Mallard. So Mallard goes heavily into the gravel, gets out, but I did hear race control saying the same. That's why. Safety car will be coming in on this lap. Oh, look, more damage there to the Bayswater car. Ooh.
Yeah.
Now that could actually bring him in because the stewards won't like that, will they?
They might give it a lap just to see if it comes off, but it's the rain light too, so if it gets any heavier on the rain, that might affect him being able to stay out there. As you can see, the windscreen wipers on.
Oh, what's happened here? He just got hit. 3 cars involved, but somebody just got hit heavily.
Huge hit there by the looks of that.
Oh, Mallard. Oh, and that's a game over, I'm afraid. So all sorts of drama in the 86. Mark Mallard will be sprinting down to catch up with his son, but what on earth happened there?
I would say what it is, a bit of a concertina effect. He's been looking back in the field a bit and he's gone to go, and unfortunately the field's checked up while he was still accelerating. That's obviously, we haven't seen it ourselves, but that's my only thoughts there.
I just hope we keep racing because we want this race to finish under race trim, and we're going to have some good battles throughout. Gilchrist continues despite the problems he's had, and meanwhile Dion Pitt, the green light is still on, I'm glad to say. There's Christina Orr-West in the Dale ITM car, looking for a big season. The dairy farmer
showing great promise with a lot of speed as well throughout testing and yesterday as well. So let's just have a look at this. So you can see there Thomas still accelerating, and as the field checks up, that's all checked up very hard, and unfortunately just nowhere to go.
Yep. That's unfortunate because I wouldn't put any fault to either of those two there. And obviously in comes the 73.
Yeah, that's a huge blow to him. See, you can see the line difference. See how Dion Pitt was able to be nice and high before he turned it into turn 2, and then you can see Finn having to hold his line to cover his line down into that position there as well.
Where would Alan go? Where will he make the move? Where's the safest? I guess the elbow is the obvious, but is there any other places he could try?
I think the elbow is really the main one, getting the run onto the main straight. And as I said previously, I know Justin really does like, as we can look at our commentary position here.
The race coming hard now, all the wipers on, and now things are really going to get Larry.
You can see the speed difference, and you can see John Penny there. Nice Penny, big slide.
Sideways. Well, he showed us his Penny home Logan there almost.
He did. So this is really going to change the dynamic. So the hardest one here is for Dion Pitt, being the guy at the front. He's the one that's into turn 1 first, so he's going to be braking that a little bit earlier. See how that gap's already closed up a little bit. So as a driver behind him and Finn, he's able to gauge his speed off what Dion's doing in front. As you can see, Dion a little bit wide there. It is game on.
Yeah, well, you said it before, Justin Allen loves these conditions, and I would have thought he's thinking to himself, that's why he's got the lights on, he's doing the Le Mans style, get out of my way, Osborne.
As you can see there, Finn running a little bit wide, and
both of them going through. Yeah. So that was inexperience from Finn. He's let both cars by. His brother goes through with Justin Allen, and they now go in pursuit of West goes west.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any damage here. As we can see, Clay on the inside through Brickyard. Is he going to get the move done down at the GWD elbow?
Yes, I think he will, because he's blocked passing effectively, because Justin can't turn in on him. That's good driving from Allen, though. He got side by side, and in fact, Osborne got a little leery, and that has allowed Justin Allen back through to second, so good race, but they're both catching Dion Pitt now. The gap half a second in the closing stages. Andrew Waite, this is going to be a cracker.
It is game on. So yeah, unfortunately there, Clay just got a little bit greedy on the throttle because he had that tighter line. He had a bit more lock on the wheel as he was trying to get on the throttle compared to Justin, as Justin was able to open up the steering a bit. So yeah, this is good racing.
Well, look at this. I'd have heard of At Home with the Osbornes, but this is third and fourth here in New Zealand. I love it. Allen second. Oh, wide goes Clay.
You see there Clay just showing his nose on the inside. This is a little breather for Justin. Justin's able to get his head down and focus on the car in front.
Now, Justin Allen needs to put his head down and start putting in some laps. He's got enough to catch Dion, but Dion's wily, and I almost feel like Dion deserves a win after his rotten start to the weekend.
Yeah, it's certainly a tough one for him, but you know, this is hard to lead a race like this out front when the conditions are changing. You're the first one to each corner, as I was saying before, so it's very, very hard to hold that lead, and he'll be looking at Justin in his mirror, and yeah, it's far from over yet.
Well, we'll see the gap. You can see Justin Allen pulling away from Osborne now as they come to the line again. We'll see the gap, but you can visually see how close it is between first and second place now as they cross the line again, and another car goes off, this time the 28 of Hodgson. Ayrton Hodgson, well, he's going grass tracking, but he's back out and he's okay.
Radio, turn 7 now clear.
Or as we can see there, Finn getting very wide, just managing to hold on to the track, unfortunately losing a few positions.
Yep, so he's dropped right back. He doesn't like this wet weather, and he may not have driven too many laps in the wet weather. It's the worst kind of wet weather because it's not torrential rain, it's just enough to make it greasy.
Yeah, that's the best word for it. It makes the track very, very greasy compared to when it's full wet, so... And we just have...
Yeah, so some guys are getting it right in the wet, some not so much.
So that's a double whammy for Hodgson there. He doesn't have ABS. You could see the way the front tyre's locked up, so he's already nursing a problem with no ABS. And, you know, we're talking about these being the hardest conditions, but trying to do without ABS too, that's the nightmare.
And if you don't know what ABS is, you've got it on your car. It's your braking system, and without it, it ain't too easy.
Yeah, so basically what the ABS does is it's called anti-lock brake system. So what it allows you to do is you can press the brake pedal as hard as you like, and basically it just stops the wheels from locking up.
It sort of judders, doesn't it? If you really slam it on.
And that's, you know, it's got all the wheel speed sensors determining where the wheel speed is, and if it feels the wheel speed starting to stop, that's when it brings the brake on and off, and you got special pumps in your car, and incredible technology, not just great for racing, but saves thousands of lives on the road day to day.
Dion Pitt, if you're any good, you're going to have to show it now, because Justin Allen is loving these conditions and is desperate for a win. He hasn't had one this season. He started this year saying, you know what, this is my year, and it hasn't happened just yet. It's still early, but a win here in race 2 could be just the fillip he needs it. And likewise, Dion Pitt, after his exclusion after qualifying, or at least penalty after qualifying, desperately wants the win too. So both of them have got reasons to really want to take this win.
Yeah, of course, and this is just, you know, for Justin here, he's able to brake that a little bit later. He's able to just sort of drive off what Dion's...
Another elbow nudge. This time the 75 of Bryant getting very wide, but okay. And again, gets back out on track. So, last lap, here we go. Where does he do it if he's going to do it?
I think he's going to have to try line up the last corner, but at the same time, Dion is not going to make it easy for him. As you can see, they're just running a little bit wide, trying to run what we call the high line in these conditions. There's maybe a little bit more grip out there, running the car right out wide to the exit. Dion will be looking in his mirrors now, just to weigh out where he is. Can I run my normal line, or do I need to defend? Luckily, he's just far enough back there. Dion's able to run his normal line there.
It's going to be interesting to the finish, because Dion just doing enough to stay far enough ahead where there's just no chance for a pounce for Justin Allen. And Allen may be deciding now, as halfway through this lap with just the brickyard to go after this, and then the elbow, that this could be all he can get out of this, and a lunge now could actually end in tears and give Osborne the podium. So here we come, down to the last corner. It's been Dion Pitt. He's put in a great performance. He's bounced back well, and that shows composure. The light's on for Justin Allen. in the Napa car and under 99, but he's going to take second, and it's going to be a win for Dion Pitt, and well deserved. In varying conditions, he takes the checkered flag to win race 2 here at Teretonga in the rain. And Osborne on the podium with Justin Allen just ahead in second. So 86 puts their second race, their 5th of the season, in the books. A little rattle of applause and confirmation of the result then. Dion Pitt for Race Lab wins ahead of Justin Allen, Clay Osborne in 3rd. John Penny wins the Masters and takes 4th overall. Finn Osborne drops to 5th. Brock Gilchrist a healthy 6th for the championship leader. William Exton in 7th. Rylan Gray 8th. That's good. He went from 10th to 8th at the end there. Bewley up to 9th, and Taylor Bryant, who went grass tracking, drops further down to 10th. Christina Orr-West 11th. Saxon Sheehan behind her.
Yeah, oh look, after that restart, didn't realise there was oil at the final corner, so obviously everybody went in there normally, and then all of a sudden it's a skating ring.
Please show me that winner's smile.
Yeah, it's big right now. That was probably one of the hardest races of my life at the end there. There's oil down at the final turn after the restart and the grease coming on. Justin was catching me, but I just had to keep my eyes forward and look forward.
Still to come, we meet a young Australian with a busy year ahead and the feature race to finish off round 2.
I'm Rylan Gray, I'm from Hunter Valley, Australia, and I'm really excited for the 2023 Toyota Series. I have been doing the Hyundai XL Series up in Queensland and all around Australia, going to different tracks, learning different tracks and racing with different people. Then dabbing in different categories, doing Aussie racing cars and Toyota 86s and just driving new cars to learn different techniques. Yeah, so Dad started motorbikes quite young and did that for a while. Then he thought he'd get into race cars, so he's been doing that for 10 years now, doing all sorts of cars, which has been great to learn off him and all the knowledge that he has. What brings me is probably the drivers. They're quite quick over here, so getting to compete with them is an absolute, one in a lifetime opportunity. To come over and race all the great tracks and to compete with them is good. I'm not too sure if I'll be liked too much out there, but we'll see how we go. I'm running with Action Motorsport for 2023. They're a pretty established team, I'd say, and yeah, they're good fun to work with. So yeah, downloading different tracks and getting to drive them before I actually come here is a big bonus and a lot of help for racing. Yeah, it does inspire me just to get all the steps right and just progress through the categories. And my dream is to get into V8 supercars and just doing the stepping stones along the way to try to achieve that. A little bit. I raced at Pukekohe at the last supercar round. Just had to suss out everyone and see what they're like. But yeah, we'll see what's different when the season's to come.
As we know, the all-important race start here off the line. We haven't seen a lot of passing in any of the racing yet, so it's super important to get the great jump off here.
But look at the top 4. Allen, Pitt, Osborne and Gilchrist. Those top 4 add Rylan Gray and, of course, John Penny to that in the top 6. This is going to be an interesting start. I wouldn't want to beat any of those top 4 trying to make it into the loop first.
No, it's very hard work to get it right. But one thing you'll notice off the line here, the way that they get the cars settled, so they pull the handbrake up and you might see the rear of the cars dip down. You're trying to get the car loaded in the rear so you got more control of the clutch release as you take off. So as we get them ready to go, we'll see the lights come on shortly. Race time coming up.
Clouds in the distance, but at the moment the wind pushing it the other way rather than to the track. On go those lights. Out go the lights. Away we go. Good start from Gilchrist. He's already got the advantage on the outside. He now crosses across the track to try and close the door, and he does just that. And Brock Gilchrist, the championship leader, and now the race leader here in our feature race 3.
Yeah, big start there by Brock on the inside. We've got Dion Pitt trying to hang around the outside of Clay around turn 1. Very, very hard to live out there, but he'll do all he can. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He's still out there.
No, Clay Osborne shut the door now and slots into second place. Nice start from Brock Gilchrist.
And it's important as well for Clay to close that door because the next corner obviously goes to the right. So the last thing you wanted was for Dion to have the inside line there.
So we're underway and through Macaulay Motors corner and through the 6th corner and into this big left-hander here. And then down towards the ITM Brickyard for the first time.
As you can see, the tyres still coming up to temperature there. Brock having to pull to the left. Clay looking pretty racy at this point.
Dion Pitt looking for a way past, can't quite do it. Justin Allen in 4th place, John Penny in 5th. I think All West got a good start.
So interestingly enough, looking at the flags down the main straight, it's near on a tailwind, so this is affecting the slipstream. It makes it even harder to slipstream as you're not pushing as much here.
He's going to the outside, can he get the slipstream? He's certainly got pace and drive, but it's going to be a long run around the outside, and Gilchrist is up for it and holds the line, gets it to the middle of the track, at least makes it impossible to go around the outside almost for the Nexon tyre number 10. Doing the business and holding on to the lead ahead of Osborne. Dion Pitt slotting nicely into 3rd and Justin Allen right there. Penny losing ground a little bit in 5th. Bewley in 6th place, Gray behind him. Then Exton, All West did get a good start. She's up to 9th and Osborne is in 10th.
Oh, a little bit of a slide there for Tim Leach at the back there, but this is where it's hard. As I was following on from saying about before about that slipstream, you want the car in front to be pushing as much air as possible because when you're behind, you've got that pocket of air to be able to help slipstream up. But when there's that tailwind, it just makes it even harder to get that move done.
Does it make any difference the number of laps that the 86ers do? Obviously, we've got a wet race and that changes things. But what about this longer feature race?
It does. It really changes it. So it just makes it that little bit harder when you're leading because you're so focused and you know if you make a single mistake, another car can get past you. So that's why it's so important to just stay focused the whole time. You may have a little bit of a tyre pressure adjustment as, the race isn't too much longer, but as the weekend goes on, they build that data and check the tyre pressures after the race, see how much they've gone up, have a think about where you want to start them for this race. So we're just settling in at the moment and seeing how that's going to go. And go, Rusty, standing by.
Andrew, you know the car of Thomas Mallard was meant to be taking part in this race, but his dad, Mark Mallard, has erred on the side of caution. It does have a lot of damage after that incident in race 2. Now, the Motorsport New Zealand team did check it. There could have been some repairs and they could have opted to run the car in this final race, but they are understandably playing it safe.
That's a smart move by Dad, to be honest. He's a racing driver himself, and he knows that psychologically it's never easy. And like you said, he doesn't want to send his son out in a potentially bent car as Osborne ran the outside of the elbow. He's been watching the TRS Championship with Brian Sheehan because he almost made it.
Yeah, as he just got pushed a little bit wide on the exit there, but he managed to just get back and cross in time. You could see how quickly Clay pulled back to the left as he wanted to protect that position from Pitt in behind.
And you know what? As these two fight at the front, 3rd and 4th are now catching quickly as we come into the loop. One more time.
So this is interesting. This is a real change in pace, whether or not that Gilchrist had his tyres come on super early that he hasn't been able to quite get the car going at this point in the race. Is starting to go off, but unless he made a mistake the corner beforehand, but it just seems a bit too early for your tyres to be coming on, and I doubt they were trying to get them on that early.
John Penny's got ahead of Tom Bewley and Rylan Gray sideways almost there as he comes through right behind Bewley in the Castrol car. Gray in 7th place, but Penny making it through. He was in 6th and now he's head ahead of Bewley, or for moments anyway, because back comes Tom Bewley.
So unfortunately a little bit of a mistake there for John. It's very easy to make a mistake there. We've seen it happen quite a few times with a few cars because as you come into that left-handed hairpin there, what happens is you've got a bit of lock to the right as you're trying to brake, and when you're braking with that bit of lock on, that's where you naturally end up a bit wide, maybe catch a little bit of ABS and force yourself into a mistake.
Well, Penny's lost out big time there. Let's have another look at it.
So as we can see here, Clay on the outside, trying to make the move stick. There you can see there, just run a little bit wide there, but
there's your mistake by Penny, yeah. And in fact, Rylan got through, Rylan Gray got through, and then 2, so did Exton. So not a good lap for for Penny, and now All West has passed him in the 55. So John Penny going backwards. Interestingly enough, All West and Penny fighting for the Masters Championship, and John Penny will be well aware of that as he's got Osborne behind him now. So not an easy weekend for then Tom Bewley, because he's got a gear problem in third. He's currently in 8th position, but he's got a host of others all behind, waiting to get past if he makes another gear problem go further. Dion Pitt, though, is having a good one. He's in 3rd at the moment, and he's all over Osborne in the 15. And Gilchrist, try as he might, hasn't got away yet. The gap 0.1 as they come out of the elbow again and onto the main straight.
And this is perfect for Gilchrist. Now that Clay is having to drive in his mirrors, it's giving Gilchrist a chance to just get away. So this lap here, if I was Gilchrist's engineer, I'd be saying head down, best lap of the race, do it now.
I think he has done it too. Look at that, 109, he was listening. 109.7, Gilchrist takes the gap to 0.8 of a second, and it doesn't sound much, but here at Invercargill, as you rightly pointed out, it's a country mile.
Yeah, it is. So you're right on cue there, and he needs another one of those. He needs to go quicker this lap again to get that 1 second margin.
One driver's left.
Sadly, All West goes onto the grass. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, so it's just that turn into turn 1, so maybe she's had a bit of a coming together with another car there as she's making her way back around to the track. And let's take a look at her replay.
She's on the outside of Bewley, and yeah, I think there was almost a touch there. Oh, she's just too wide. Probably a little bit of marbles out there because she's not on the race line.
Yeah,
she does a good job actually of saving it. Look at that.
Yeah, unfortunately, what would have happened there is it's 5th gear at the end of the straight. She's gone to down change to 4th, and I reckon she's maybe grabbed 2nd gear, which has locked the rear tyres. Another thing that's easy done. So you can see a really good battle here between Rylan Gray and William Exton.
Yeah, I wanted to see these two because they've been at it the whole race. Look at this, side by side. Rylan's got his best opportunity now, the young Australian, and makes it. That is class.
Yeah, got the move done early, got the run out of the hairpin there.
Very good deal. Let's head down to Rusty.
JG, I'm with Dwayne Bewley, Tom's dad. We thought we'd try and answer that question you guys were asking in commentary. Is it completely gone now?
Yeah, the team just told me he's completely lost 3rd gear, so he's having to go from 2nd to 4th. So he's just hanging in there and he's getting as many points as he can for the championship.
He's just coming across the line there now, and we can literally hear him struggling to select a gear, guys. So we'll leave you guys to get to it. They're hoping to maintain that gap if they can and bring some points home.
Yeah, the 15-year-old's going to have some real composure now because it's never easy. Look at this battle going on.
Yeah, as you can see, a little bit of rubbing there, bit of a replay. As you can see, William Exton getting caught out in the grass. So they've been side by side since turn 2 all the way to the last corner.
Really good stuff, and it's good that they're going good respect for each other as well in the racing. Rylan's got the advantage at this point in the 21 Castrol car, the man from New South Wales, Australia. Going to be taking part in the Australian Championship 86 as well.
Could we see William make a move back to get that 5th position back?
Here come the leaders, and if anything, Gilchrist has just got a better gap now. It was 0.5, let's see if it's increased. And it has, just by a 10th though. This is the last lap. 1 to go for Brock Gilchrist, and I hate to say it, but here we go again. It's the same story. Who could stop Brock Gilchrist?
I think so. He's just got just enough of a gap there to have to be able to just relax a little bit and just really focus on his brake markers. At this point, you're so close. You don't need anyone in your radio. You can check your mirrors, looking for your brake marker, braking right at the right spot, thinking about your exit of the corner, getting the car right down to the apex, trying not to let the car slide, running up through the S's. At this point, you're weighing up your braking marker through the 60s there, hard on the brakes at this point, straightening the car up, getting it turned and really focusing on this exit as this is the last passing opportunity out of here.
Yeah, you called it. No heroics by any of the top 4. They all kind of said, look, there's no point in making a dive. I'll make a mistake if I do so. Gilchrist has just not put a foot wrong, and he's done it again. Out of the elbow he comes, and it's going to be another victory for Brock Gilchrist. He just keeps on winning, and it's going to be a hard man to stop as they head to the next round. But Brock Gilchrist wins again in Teretonga. Dion Pitt recovers well for the last 2 races to keep the points nice and tight. A check on the results then, another win for Brock Gilchrist in the IMAC Racing Engineers car. Dion Pitt with Race Lab takes 2nd. Justin Allen on the podium for IMS Racing once again. Clay Osborne 4th, Rylan Gray 5th, William Exton in 6th place, Taylor Bryant in 7th. Finn Osborne takes 8th, Christina Orr West, despite a bit of grass tracking, takes 9th, ahead of Tim Leach in 10th. Tom Bewley, despite not having a gear, still gets into the 11th position ahead of Saxon Sheehan, Harry Townsend, William Morton, John Penny and Ayrton Hodgson.
I was told you had something up your sleeve. That's what we heard.
I don't know who you heard that from, but look, hey, we were pretty good for that race. You know, we were staying with the top 2, but then once I got clay, I sort of had to defend as well, so I was a little bit more in mindset of that. But no, thanks to IMS, thanks to Napa, Fielding Auto Electrical, everyone that got me here this weekend. It was a great way to end the weekend after starting P8 yesterday. So no, fantastic.
Yeah, more points on the bag. If you had told me yesterday I'd have a win in a second today, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but the car was quick and I just believed in myself to keep going, and here we are.
So let's get into P1 now. Brock Gilchrist. Man, everything's just rolling your way, but that was tough.
Yeah, again, like race 1, it was just driving a wide car, and you know, I had Clay at the start putting a massive amount of pressure on me. Then I had Dion, and I got that little gap from Dion, and it's sort of those last couple laps, and it sort of relieved my pressure a little bit and just kept clean and got home.
Did you feel Dion all over the back here?
Oh, well, obviously I could see he was trying to line up a little crisscross, but it's just preventing him from doing that, and obviously I managed to do that and come home taking another win, which is awesome.
So a great Sunday for Justin Allen and Dion Pitt at Teretonga, but next up in the series, it's back to Hampton Downs. We'll see you then.